I believe that we can do more to support the Cuban people and promote our values through engagement. After all, these 50 years have shown that isolation has not worked. It's time for a new approach.
Cuban dictator Raul Castro, happy man these days. In his mind, that tiny island nation has defeated imperialistic America at its own game and is free to start cashing in and at the same time plying their communistic wares. This has plenty of people see nothing but green with the possibility of no restrictions. Welcome back to Midpoint. The CEO and chairman of Patriarch Equity and DigitalMarketing.com, Eric Schiffer, joins us. Eric, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Ed. Good. Happy holidays.
To you as well. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I like to get them all in there. It always helps. Just make sure everybody's happy. All right, here we go. Let's talk about the Christmas gift that the American government handed the Cuban government, if you will, because Raul Castro says, thank you very much, but we're going to remain communist. This is the way it's going to be. So with all these businesses waiting to get in there and make fortunes, are we all sort of getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here?
Well, maybe a little bit short term, but long term, I think that the Castro brothers have signaled a new period of economic prosperity, actually for both countries. I mean, when you consider that the United States right now, it still exports to Cuba. A lot of people don't realize that. It actually has been doing that for some time. 2000, some restrictions were lifted for grain and other types of suppliers. So they do about $300 million in exports a year. My prediction, it will be somewhere north of about 10 to 15 times that in revenue for the United States over the next decade to 15 years as we get rolling here. So you're talking about an increase of about 300 million all the way to about $4.5 billion a year, which is significant.
How long is this all going to take, though? Because you had a time frame in there, but as I talk to a lot of people involved in corporations, some say to me a year. Another says 3 years. Another says it'll be 10 years before we're able to get there because of the lack of real infrastructure in Cuba itself. So what's the reality?
It depends on the product and service that you have. So if you're in the hotel business, 10 years is realistic for a luxury hotel by the time it takes the planning to happen and everything else. But to get products over there and a grain and what have you, I mean, that literally can happen within a year. There also are opportunities for our oil producers. You know, Cuba's sitting on a lot of oil. And so there's opportunities for us to both consult and also benefit from some of that oil, medical supplies, vaccines from an import standpoint. And of course, now, Ed, you would never do this, but nor would I, but smoke Cuban cigars, of course.
Never, never. Not a cigar guy anyway, but of course we have no idea where they're coming from and why they're here in America. The one thing that it seems we're missing here, last time I checked, there's about $7 billion in nationalized land in Cuba that belongs to people like Exxon, Starwood Hotels, Colgate-Palmolive, Coca-Cola. Are they ever going to get any of this land back now, or is this just something that's being shoved under the rug?
Well, it's a good point. That is actually some of the items. There are plants that were closed. This all happened when Castro took power in 1959, and he literally shut down companies. Coca-Cola, what used to be office supply companies, were closed off. The U.S. government totaled about $1.7 trillion, I think it was, in claims, and that's going to be much bigger, obviously with interest, et cetera. The State Department is saying that, look, those types of claims are not going to be addressed right now until full diplomatic relations are open, but that will come, and there will likely be some recompense or some type of benefit that will be given to those companies. However, I think that the greater upside to those companies is just being able to get their foothold. I mean, companies like Coca-Cola, that have so much to gain from this kind of opportunity, not necessarily all with the Cuban people, but with people that are going to be visiting, tourists, et cetera, that immediately will increase by about 20–30%.
We should also point out, too, that the Cuban government, I got about 20 seconds left, they haven't really unilaterally agreed to anything yet, have they?
Well, we don't know what the final deals that were made on the telephone call between the Castro president and President Obama, but I suspect that there is a wink and a nod and a lot of opening up of discussions about how this will work and how commerce will work. Look, Cuba needs it. They need our money. They need our dollars. They need our investment. They know it. They see what China has done with that kind of investment and yet remain communist. So I think that there will be a hybrid kind of a structure similar to China, and they see an opportunity there, and it will likely happen, and it's going to benefit the United States.
Here comes the new year. Eric Schiffer, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. Very happy holidays to you and your family, and Midpoint will continue.